Oh,
What?
we got something. It's like a little echoey. Choose a different one. Oh,
What?
we got something. Oh, it's echoing because this. Choose a different one.
Just wait.
That was because it's from yours, playing on yours.
Oh, it's echoing because this. Hear the buzzing?
Just wait. Whoa!
Alright. So it's one of these mics. I think it might be Dayton's that it's catching.
You want me to unplug it?
No, leave it. Alright. So it's one of these mics. I think it might be Why is mine still catching?
This one sounds good.
You want me to unplug it?
No, leave it.
Sounds pretty good.
I don't know how this program's silent.
This one sounds good. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know how this program's silent. You know what I'm saying? Like, my computer's muted. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, my computer's muted. That is weird. I don't get it. That's wild. Just I guess mute your shit.
Do you mind?
Yeah, I don't know how that'll sound. I don't know if it'll do anything. I thought it was playing out on my computer this whole time. My phone was sitting right next to it, dude. And did you hear me? Like, why is it coming out on my computer? Jesus. Okay, we're good. I thought it was playing out on my computer this whole time. My phone was sitting right next to it, dude.
Oh, shit.
Does that look good? Why is it coming out?
Yeah,
Should we close the blinds?
I got you.
Jesus. Okay, we're good. Can you even angle it? Jonah's not. You'll be in the next one.
We had a almost whole podcast with the camera right on me one time. So
Is that too dark?
You should go Instagram Live and show.
maybe open up the far one. That won't be in the video, but it'll make the room a little lighter. Keep the right one closed.
It might
the left
actually.
one.
Wait though. I think this
Actually,
might be
no,
good.
this looks good.
I would keep
Yeah,
it.
Keep it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go live on the gram for like a minute or two. Explain.
Yep.
Huh?
Hey, we're live on YouTube.
I'm gonna.
It might be. This might be a new thing we're gonna start to do. Because Josh won't have to upload it to YouTube anymore. It just automatically stays up after we go live. I mean, we'll have about 10, 15 minutes of bullshit before this, but.
Alright, you guys ready though?
Wait, yeah.
Can you mute that? Because I don't want it echoing.
Well, I'm gonna exit it so I can.
Alright, we
I
are
can watch.
live. We are in the den.
Oh shit.
We
The
are
den.
live. If you want to catch us, YouTube us.
Here's we're
Bro's
live
going
right
wild.
now.
We're
Check
live
it
on
out.
We're live on YouTube.
Live on the YouTube. Say what's up,
What's good?
Jay. So yeah, go. We already got a couple people watching. We are gonna go to YouTube, so go find our YouTube, Bros Gone Wild podcast, right, Josh?
Subscribe and
Subscribe and
then find it.
come check us
We're
out.
live.
It's hard. It's hard to go live on Instagram, but it's a little bit easier on YouTube. So.
YouTube.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
See you then. You guys ready to sit down and record this puppy?
Yes, sir.
Who was on?
Holmes and Colin Campbell.
That's fast,
Oh, no
dude.
shit, that was just like that.
All right.
I remember.
And we're live.
Here we go.
How are we, boys? Everybody's had a class, right?
Right.
Yep, first class is out of the way.
Wow. Junior year. A couple 1-2 juniors.
Yeah, we're grown ass men now.
Basically, dude. Yeah, honest to God, we're about at that point where we get a final job.
Pretty much. Career.
That's so weird.
We
That
gotta figure it out
in 2 years,
very soon,
about 2-3 years, you'll have a full blown career.
dude. And I
Hopefully. That's the plan.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be awesome to have something where you're like have your own apartment and all that stuff. That would be such a cool point in our lives.
Just your own setup.
On my own setup, I'm
Yeah.
buying like all my own pots and pans, like nice knives, because I know it's mine forever.
Right.
Like, that's a cool point to be at.
Oh yeah, people we know went to high school with are legit like starting to have kids.
Yeah.
Which is weird, and
When,
people are
and
gonna start to get married. You'll be able to go to weddings of your friends, and that'll be a fun.
That'll
that'll
be
be
real fun.
wild. Weddings will
That'll
be crazy.
That'll be a fun
Yeah.
time. Weddings and people having babies, and
Yeah.
it's coming up fast. It's weird.
I think my dad was saying at one point he had something like 4 weddings in like 4 weekends in a row. It was like
That's awesome.
insane. Like it was unbelievable.
That'd be a great time.
That'd
It'd be,
so
it'd be
fun.
nuts.
Yeah.
um,
So let's all get married in the same month.
yeah,
Let's try and do
and time it right. Would you guys? I've been thinking for some reason I was thinking about this the other day. What my best man speech would be if I was the best man for a wedding, like how I would start it. Who would?
It's a weird speech because like what do
It's
you
got to
talk
be good
about?
though.
What do you talk
Oh,
about?
yeah.
But there's a lot of pressure.
It's got to be comedic.
But not like
Absolutely.
but not too far because you don't want to bring up something that's like.
Okay, this is what
low-key.
you want to start out by having people laugh, get people laughing, and then
And
next
get
thing
'em
you know,
crying.
by the end they're crying.
It's a good
That's
speech.
a solid speech.
They,
right
if they
there.
start
It's true.
laughing and then crying,
Mhm.
you did a
That's-
good job.
I didn't even think about that.
My aunt, my cousin, she gave a maid of honor speech that was so good, and I was very impressed. And so,
Taking notes.
a lot of
yeah,
pressure.
it's something I would look up a lot of YouTube videos on. I'd be trying to get a really good speech, but.
What do you mean, like you're?
Would you guys go up there with cue cards, or would you go up there and just
No.
give me the mic?
No, I'll just take them off.
Give me the mic.
I'd be ready.
And at
Give
that
me that
point, you're
thing.
drinking a little bit,
Oh yeah,
so
Yeah,
words are
hopefully.
flowing real nice.
got a cute couple stony balonies in you.
Jeez. Yeah, hopefully we're not drinking Keystone Light
At a
at each other's
wedding.
weddings. Hopefully it's like brandy or something nice.
Brandy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I
Did
just
we have a poll?
yeah I have a little side
Please.
poll too if we don't I don't
I don't
remember if
think-
we have one or not.
Oh,
we
it
the
was just the
It was the
McGregor.
McGregor.
Oh,
We
that's
posted
right.
that
Okay.
the day before the fight.
It was the day of.
The
It's
day
the night
okay.
of.
It was
It
literally
was
that
hours.
night when we started.
A couple hours before the
Yeah.
fight.
I've been a little sloppy lately.
That was
We
fun.
have. We'll tighten it up. We're starting to tighten.
Tighten
it
your
up.
assholes.
Well, we now we have something to get excited about. We're back, and it's
Yeah.
just it feels like the normal podcast.
Took
again.
us a while. Now we're actually doing school, and we're all in like a
Right, so now
slight
we're in a
routine.
normal schedule.
Routine.
and
Exactly. But yeah, no, it's exciting.
Good to be back.
What were you gonna
Yeah.
bring up? What poll?
Okay, so I hear Josh in the apartment. He talks a lot about Sam's Club. He's an avid Sam's Club goer, to my knowledge.
It's my first time.
Oh,
ever
was it
going.
really?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was gonna
He
ask
just,
because.
he just got a membership and he's excited.
Oh, okay. Because Denny and I were talking earlier. I mean, when we do take that next step and we have a career and you're financially, stable enough, are you going to get a membership to Sam's Club or are you going to get a membership to Costco?
Oh, 100% Costco.
Really?
Yep.
I'm a big Costco
Okay,
guy.
because, I mean, so is that kind of just well-renowned? Costco's better?
Better
I think
brands.
I think it might. I could be wrong. I think it might be dependent on like the area in which you live.
Well,
I
yeah,
don't-
that's a big thing.
Costco, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Might be more of a Midwest thing. I don't
you're
know
right.
if that's a nationwide.
Oh, okay.
And so Sam's
think
might
you are
have
right.
more far-reaching. I'm not sure on that, but I definitely think it depends on the area.
Mhm.
You know, like we don't have a Costco up here.
That's the reason I got Sam's Club.
Yeah, right.
I
So-
love those kind of
It's-
stores.
So if they had Costco...
But
you
if they
would-
had,
I'd
but if they
100%
had,
be at Costco.
but if they
Gotcha.
had both, I'd pick Costco probably.
Well,
Mhm.
Costco
Probably
has the
would, too.
MILFs, too. I mean, come on, let's
That's
be
true.
honest.
No, but and I feel like this is just off my first time going to Sam's Club and going to Costco a lot. I feel like Costco has a lot more selection and a lot more product than Sam's Club. Sam's Club, I was like a little. I mean, obviously, I'm sure it depends which ones you go
Right.
to and all that. But the one that we went to in Mount Pleasant that we go to is kind of small. There wasn't
Really?
as much as I really expected. Costco's overwhelming almost. It's so
It's massive.
But I didn't get that impression. I was like, oh, this is all they got for this. Okay. And then just, I don't know. That was one observation I made.
They absolutely have different products, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, Costco has its own brand.
That's
Kirkland, right?
I love Kirkland brand.
Kirkland's good.
They have a lot of good Kirkland
and it's
brand
so
things.
cheap.
Yeah.
It's crazy what you go to if you get Kirkland compared to other things.
For sure, yeah.
It's impressive, but
I mean, Sam's Club's still smoking deals though, right? I mean, it's basically,
Oh, yeah,
and you're
yeah.
buying it in wholesale sizes.
and
right?
they have their own app that is always telling you deals and stuff.
Oh, that's
and
kinda
sending notifications like, oh, this weekend is extra off hot dogs. Oh,
Oh.
I don't know.
Hot diggity dogs.
But that's kind of nice. But should we? I know it was our poll. I don't want to forget about it. But if we talk a little bit about the fight,
Yeah, sure.
counter
go ahead.
fight.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
Well, there was.
I know it was our poll. I don't want to forget.
Whoops, that was it.
There was a massive. There was a massive letdown in the streaming.
Oh,
Everybody, Andrew, it was a mess for them too.
Yeah. Dang, that's a bummer.
Tons and tons of people.
Gotta get their money back.
Will they?
I mean,
I
how
would-
can you not? I mean, like,
We
so
didn't
in
get
our
to
case,
watch
we were
it.
gonna go to an apartment and watch it,
Yeah.
and they were having a ton of people over. They had bought the fight.
They already
on
bought it.
UFC or whatever website. They bought it for $100. They had a bunch of people over and charged people, and then the website was like overloaded and they couldn't log on to see the fight. So
Yeah.
I don't know how they wouldn't refund your money.
Not gonna lie, I'll take my $5.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
I mean, I feel
unless
bad.
they don't, like, if they get their money back, I feel like I should get my $5
I
back.
think they will.
But if they don't, it's whatever. Right? It was.
I mean,
$5.
yeah, it's $5.
But how can you have somebody pay for the fight and then not get it?
That's bad.
Like, that's bad.
I think
And,
there's
They shouldn't but they should have been prepared for that. They
Yeah.
know that
They
they're
know this is
gonna
the
have
biggest
it.
fight in history.
Everybody's gonna get it.
What were
Literally
the-
everybody got it.
What were the numbers pay-per-view? What was the
I
numbers?
actually don't
on it?
know.
I don't know.
Did anybody
either.
see a figure?
I
I
have
can
no
look it
idea.
up.
The projection was.
Or
like,
what they made, or what they walked away with.
I don't. The projection was crazy.
Do
I read a
you-
little bit about it.
Do you get extra money for winning in boxing? Like, do you get? So say for
it
golf,
depends
you
on
get,
it depends on like the individual contract. 'Cause I think each fight is like individually negotiated.
That's what I thought. So you don't necessarily get
So,
anything out of winning.
I
per se.
think you do.
Maybe
I
that's
think,
in the
I
contract.
think almost all contracts is like
Okay,
the
okay.
winner gets a little bit bigger percentage. But I know in this fight, I'm pretty sure no matter what the outcome, Mayweather was making significantly more.
Really?
Yeah, no, it was. The guaranteed was a lot more for Mayweather. I read it.
Regardless of what McGregor did, if he knocked
Okay.
him out in the first round, Mayweather still would have made more money.
Yeah.
But it depends from fight to fight. This one was like basically who was the bigger draw, like who brought the audience,
Okay.
and in that case it's kind of both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Mayweather was more stern, and McGregor just kind of wanted to make it happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why he settled.
Yeah, I mean,
But
it's not like
obviously it took a long time to get there.
Oh, yeah.
Like this was talked about for a long
like
time.
I could see the money being like McGregor got 80 million, Conor got 55 million. Like that's something I could see. I have no idea. I'm just saying. I'm sure Conor still got fat pay.
Oh, Conor got 30 and change just for showing up.
Really?
in that
That's what
ring,
that
yeah.
was?
Floyd, I can't remember what his guaranteed was, but he took well over 100 after the win. well over that. I don't remember what it was, but
That's so crazy.
yeah.
I was very happy with it though. For the people
watch
that I don't know
any of
really that weren't able to see it.
Yeah.
One of the better boxing matches I've ever watched
Really?
in my life.
That kind of sucks.
I was
I'm
listening.
I
always-
didn't get to see it.
I'm always so bored with them. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just listening. So like, we watched it. We ended up getting it, streaming it illegally. And it like was laggy, so we didn't see like the whole thing pretty fluidly.
But
we saw a decent
fairly,
amount.
It was pretty.
And my
good.
impression was that Conor had a pretty good fight. And then I was listening to your boy Max Kellerman this morning.
Oh boy.
He's like if I was gonna listen to Max Kellerman, anything would be boxing.
Yeah.
It's like his background.
Is
And
he
he
on
said like
ESPN?
all. Yeah.
Okay.
He's on First Take with.
Yeah. Okay.
Stephen.
Okay.
So like Conor landed 100 and some punches, which is like more than I think even Pacquiao landed. They said.
Wow.
But
Mm-hmm.
he only landed a few like solid shots. They call them.
Power punches or something.
I don't know what it was, but there was a lot of times where like he was just like quick arm punches.
Okay.
So like nothing behind, just kind of getting them, tagging them
Gotcha.
up real quick. So like nothing that did damage, but like you kind of get points for it
Totally.
or whatever. And then he was also saying like you could tell like the first 3 rounds Mayweather threw almost no punches.
That's
Like
what's
he
so
got
crazy.
he got hit a lot, but nothing like he didn't care
I know.
because like nothing had anything behind it. So he was
Uh-huh.
just taking them, feeling it out, and they were saying he probably knew McGregor would come out, super hard as his first fight. So he's like, after the first 3 rounds, like the 4th round is when the fight actually started.
Well,
That's
yeah,
like,
exactly.
and that's when it started to turn into what everybody thought of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were saying that McGregor
Look good.
looked pretty good.
He's versatile, dude.
He is.
It's impressive.
I'm very impressed. And my dad was even saying, by the 10th round, it looked like he couldn't even lift his arms up anymore. He was
McGregor?
so tired. And yeah, we
Dang.
could kind of see that, but it's harder to tell when it's freezing. But
Do you think the fight was stopped early? I was listening to it earlier. They're having a debate whether they thought the fight was stopped early. Have you seen the highlights of how it ended?
yeah.
Have you?
No, I haven't. I haven't really seen much on it at
He
all.
didn't get put on his back. He was kind of started to stop protecting himself a little bit, and at that point, you're supposed to call the fight. So they called the fight. He was getting tagged up pretty good. If they would have let it go, he would have ended up on his back.
Yeah.
But the ref stopped it a little
Gotcha.
early.
Yeah.
So
I
he
mean,
prob-
I don't think there's a
but-
different outcome if they. let it
No,
go a
I
little
don't either, and I
longer.
don't think it really anybody does. But it's just kind of like
No, yeah.
they don't. You kind of want to see somebody on the back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's like a just way to end it.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, and I don't. Yeah, like you said, it wouldn't have changed the outcome. He would have ended up on his ass,
Uh huh.
whether they,
And the stuff I read, I mean, it actually, our live stream started to work when they were talking, but
because everybody got.
everybody was so, yeah, everybody got off of the internet. Everybody was so happy that, with their sportsmanship. Like, they were
Dude,
so.
McGregor was so happy after the end of
I
that fight.
know.
He made a lot of
And
money.
It was impressive.
He made so much money.
Yeah.
They were with all the shit they were talking. Like, that's a lot of it. I feel like it's just an act.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to a point for sure. Trying to intimidate and.
So what? Will he go back to the UFC now? Is that?
I have no idea.
No, yeah.
It's interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to the UFC. I would be more surprised if he does another boxing match.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't even know like if what belt he would be. I don't know. I don't know if he's in the 160. I have no idea really.
What's your opinion on Bones Jones found another drug test?
Dude, I was bummed.
Yeah,
I
That's
was
too bad.
really
He's one of the
bummed.
most dominant fighters in the
I know.
UFC. Just the fact that.
And apparently there was a good chance he was going to be fighting in Detroit for his next fight, and Andrew and Brad were planning on going, and if they would go, I'd probably go because that's really
That's
something
sweet,
cool to
yeah.
go to.
For sure.
But yeah, it's not going to happen anymore. I don't know even who he's going to fight or what this and that, but
Would have been sweet regardless.
regardless,
He would have
yeah.
knocked out whoever the hell.
I
it
couldn't.
was.
But did I watch that with you guys? His last fight.
Cormier and
Mhm.
that was me and you at our boys' house last year.
That's right.
Yeah.
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 Well, where did we watch his most recent one? Where did I watch that?
McGregor
Oh.
Aldo?
No.
Talking
Bones
Bones.
Jones, his most recent one with
Shoot.
Cormier?
Cormier.
I didn't watch it. I don't know.
Oh,
Did you watch
Oh,
that?
the most recent fight.
The most recent. Yeah.
I didn't know that. That was just a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah. It wasn't that long ago.
Right. No, I don't think that was with me.
Gosh, I don't know who I watched that with. Oh, it was at. Oh, sorry. It was at Ollie's house. We all went over there, threw in $10 and got it.
Nice.
Nice.
But yeah, he's a killer. The one thing I wanted to bring up to you guys, I heard at my 9 a.m. archery class this morning. I was talking to this kid Matt, and he's interning with the church that's right on one of our roads. He's whatever, and he goes, "Oh, guys, I got some great news for our game against Rhode Island this Thursday. Jesus Dogs is back."
No.
I was like, yeah. Turns out they're for some reason.
Explain what Jesus Dogs is real quick. 'Cause there's
And for people that don't know, Jesus Dogs, they would come out on Saturday nights, and they would
On
have
Main.
On-
massive
at
grills,
Central.
like 3 massive grills, all of them cooking hot dogs. And you'd walk up, you could go in 30 circles in a row.
You go in at 11:30 at night. You'd walk by this house on Main Street, and they're just grilling up hot dogs and giving them out. And
For
it's
free.
It's a pretty religious frat.
Yeah.
So they got the name Jesus Dogs.
And dude,
which
they
I
had-
do not think they like. but
No, well, this guy owned it. This guy owned it. He said Jesus dogs,
That's
and
the
he was
name.
saying that.
oh, I
Right.
thought they
Over
didn't
and
like
over.
it, but maybe not.
I
funny.
don't think they're a huge fan in general from the
But
frat.
whatever,
but
they're Jesus dogs.
they're
Yeah.
Jesus dogs.
They're dank. They're
And-
so good.
They are.
But I think for some reason they're not allowed to have it at their house. But they're having a massive thing
At
at
the
the tailgate behind the stadium
That's
at the
awesome.
student lot. As many free hot dogs as you want.
That's gonna be
that was some
rowdy.
solid news when I heard that.
That is some
Honestly,
Because
solid-
now I don't have to.
If they sold them for $1, or even if they're giving them away for free, 50 cents.
50s.
$1 will get you 2.
Exactly.
Like they would make a good amount of money off that because there's gonna be a lot of people getting those hot dogs.
Well, yeah, like I would maybe even look for the awards if we were to grab some dogs, but now just grab a Jesus dog.
For sure.
Like
Are
that's
they gonna
awesome.
start doing that at all the games?
I think every home tailgate they're gonna be doing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's what this guy told me.
dangerous.
That's good news.
But
Just grab a dog.
yeah, I was extremely excited.
It's awesome, man.
I love it.
No, I was just gonna talk about Hurricane Steve Harvey.
Yep.
Still like ongoing. It's actually now it's been reclassified as a tropical storm,
Okay.
so it's no longer
It's
a
good
hurricane.
news.
But I got all of my information right here, most of it from New York Times article. But it says that when it originally made landfall, it was a Category 4. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it like hurricanes are from 1 to 5.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
believe it
you're
is.
right.
5 being the like worst. So it's Category 4, which is really bad. So the winds were up to 130 miles an hour,
Oh my gosh.
which is insane. You can
That
see
is
videos
insane.
of just people like stopped in the middle of the road and just debris just flying across it.
Dang, I gotta
It's
look more
insane.
into it.
Shit's scary.
Very.
So it hit as a Category 4 in Capano Bay, which is in Texas, and then it just kind of moved up the coast. It came off the coast of came off the Gulf Coast, and so the whole part of Texas that's bordering it is basically getting hit. And so what makes it like super bad and different from other storms is it basically hitting land and just kind of sitting there.
Sat there.
And it's just hellacious rain, just
That's what
nonstop.
happened here, dude.
And so they're saying that there's places that are going to get up to 50 inches of rain,
That's
which is
ignorant, dude.
insane.
That's feet of
Dude,
rainfall.
That's like 3.5 feet.
If you get like 2
like
inches
4.
of rain, that's like 2 feet of snow. To
Oh,
put
yeah.
that in perspective, like that's
But
insane.
just rain, yeah, just
That's
water.
just pure water.
And it's sitting in the streets. There's pictures of like areas where like lower elevation areas of the road where I've seen cars almost covered, where you can
100%
basically
almost.
just see the top of the car.
Yeah. And cars, I'm pretty sure
gosh.
cars are totaled if they get that high on water.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure.
I think
I'm
they
sure.
are
Oh,
unrepairable.
no, I'm sure it
Yeah,
is.
you can't have it sitting on
So
water.
at least 5 people have already been killed by this, and
Jeez.
dozens more have been injured. And so, like the biggest city that is getting affected, like with the worst, is Houston.
Okay.
It says it's inundated, which I looked it up. Inundated just means overwhelmed with things or people to be dealt with. So there's the
It's just
dictionary.
chaos there because people are probably trapped and looking
So
for help.
Houston actually did not evacuate people prior to the storm,
Oh boy.
and now there's people
Damn.
that are trapped basically
Oh.
in their homes.
Wow.
And so there's a ton of. I actually just got an alert right before we started this. It was Houston Police Chief says 185 critical rescue requests are still pending. So like people call for like critical rescue, and so there's 150 or 185 of those still
Not being dealt with yet.
Already
that are
2,000.
like trying to be
Waiting.
dealt with.
Already 2,000 people rescued.
Or yeah, 2,000 people have been rescued. You probably got the same word.
I just looked at it.
And that's crazy. And they're telling people don't set up shelter in your attics unless you have an axe or something to break through your roof, because they're expecting water levels to get that high where like you're not even safe in your attic.
What?
They're saying
you'd be
don't
trapped
they're,
up there.
they're saying don't go in your attic unless
That
you
would
have
be
an
so
axe
scary.
unless you have an axe to like break through onto the roof.
The water just rising and you're trapped.
All of a sudden the floor gets soggy in the attic. You're just hacking away.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Wow.
This shit's
That's
insane.
That's
insane.
real.
I just don't know, like, a hurricane, that shit's so scary. It could happen at any time. And,
Wow.
well, I mean, there's, like, hurricane season, I guess, but it just destroys everything. Like, you go back and your whole town is destroyed.
Yeah,
Like
your house
you
is
have to
gone.
start over. All your valuables and everything. Like
You have no control.
your home is wiped out. Like where do you even go? Where do you
Imagine,
what
like,
do you do?
Dude, so imagine like having a
Businesses,
gym.
Yeah, smaller
All that
businesses,
equipment ruined.
Smaller
Everything.
businesses
Like
and
that's
stuff like
over. That's millions of dollars
I
in
mean,
equipment that you just set to toss.
that. If you live in those areas, you probably have some
Insurance.
sort of like natural disaster insurance or something like that. But still,
But that dude,
But it- I
a lot of
mean-
times not everything will be covered.
yeah, but I mean,
Exactly.
that doesn't help you when you go back and you don't have a house.
right.
Yeah.
You don't have anything.
What are you supposed to do for the time being?
Right, like you
When
might get a
every-
check, but
Yeah.
Bank might be flooded.
yeah, but I mean, like that's Federal Reserve. Like you're gonna, you don't just say, oh, sorry, bank's
We get the
destroyed.
phone
You're
Bank's
on
now.
your
flooded.
own."
Shit.
The vault just opened. Too much water pressure.
But it's crazy. I saw a video on Twitter today where this guy lived in like the more northern part of Texas. I don't think he's being affected. Drove all the way down to like the super bad parts with his boat, towed it down, and then dropped it and is driving around on his boat,
Saving people,
trying
dude.
trying to save people.
That is
That's
sweet.
awesome.
He's
Yo,
like
that's-
he was there like I
Mad
saw like
respect.
I think CNN tweeted it out and they were
That's
like
cool.
interviewing him. He's like undoing his boat as they're interviewing him and he's just like
Wow.
I'm just out here trying to save some lives. Like
Okay,
That is cool.
our friend Brad has a pontoon.
Double decker.
We can fit a lot of
That's
people
a
on
lot
that
of
bitch.
people on that.
I'm just saying a road trip wouldn't be the worst.
Could you imagine if people were just throwing bangers on these boats, just going through cities?
What, Josh? What?
Like
These people are in
Are you
distress.
Could you imagine that?
No, I can't at all, dude. I'm
Like
imagining
a bunch of
There's a bunch of rescue boats and then there's just one party.
Josh is like
going
shirtless.
crazy.
like college
People are doing
kids,
shots.
Oh my
like
god.
college kids drive down for this, drop their boat off, and then they just party for like a whole
Dude,
weekend. Like that's
no.
insane.
Oh my God.
Oh man. Anyway.
Yeah.
But that shit's still going on, and it's gonna rain heavy. I think for at least another week. They're saying like it's
Jeez.
literally just sitting there, just unloading rain. Like it's not over yet. Like
I
they're
can
still in the
imagine that.
middle of dealing with this.
How do you can't stop it? How do you stop it?
I mean, there's nothing you can really do.
Umbrellas
and a
not
lot
gonna
of,
help.
and you know, a lot of places.
Seriously.
It's not. There's places in Louisiana that are getting hit too with it. I don't think as severely, but like in cases like New Orleans with Katrina, there's places that are like
Oh, yeah.
so low elevation that they just get so fucked
Just
I know.
collects.
by the rain just sits there and has
Mhm.
nowhere to drain. And there's a lot of places in Texas that are on the coast that have the same issue. That like, I was watching it before the storm hit, and I was watching some coverage, and they had one of the smaller towns like mayors or something on there.
I'm not kidding.
They're like, we don't know what we're gonna do. Like, we have nowhere for water to drain.
That's
So
the thing.
it's
Like,
we're gonna
where
be-
is
we're
this
gonna-
going to go? They have to build like these
It takes
holes and stuff,
years.
and it's a mess.
It takes years. Like New Orleans, years before
Oh, yeah.
Katrina. Like
Yeah.
before they could repair from Katrina. Like they're still, I'm sure, dealing
Oh,
with some
yeah.
of the effects.
Yeah.
I'm literally not kidding. When I'm looking for a house in the future, that's
Definitely-
gonna be in my mind.
Definitely plays a
undoubtedly.
factor.
Undoubtedly.
Natural disasters.
I took a call from this lady. Was on the phone. It was at my internship at ABC 12. I probably was on the phone for 20 minutes with this lady. She was telling me she was a disabled elderly woman that was at the bottom of a hill, and for these Midland floods, it was a absolute mess. Like her whole place got demolished and all this. And so the way it happened in Midland was it rained a ton, had a bunch of flooding, and then it took like a 12-hour break or a 24-hour break, and then came back on where it was even worse than the start.
Oh, jeez.
That's how I guess it happened or whatever. But this lady was saying that for the first flooding, they came and dug all these holes that were like helped some of the water go, but that initiated more water for the follow up. And basically she said, I'm disabled, I'm sitting in my house, it's getting moldy, I actually have a mask on. My basement, I can't even go down in my basement. There's nothing I can do, and I'm just sitting in my moldy house.
Oh.
She says, like, I've tried to call the state, I've tried to call the city representative. I can't get a hold of anybody, and I'm calling you guys last resort.
Oh my
Holy
god.
And I'm on the phone with this lady, like, yeah, no, totally. We'll see what we can do, this and that. And I was just like, oh my gosh.
That's-
So
She said,
that's so-
I've been here for the last 3 days.
How can
I don't
they-
know what to do.
Like you can't leave her in that home when
Yeah.
it's moldy and like it's unsafe.
No, it's unsafe. And
And the fact that she like her last resort's called a news station, like
I
that's
know.
sad.
That's really sad.
And she's not the only case like that.
And apparently she's like, I got a hold of them before, and they said I get a phone number and they'll call me back in a couple hours. It's been 2 days since they told me that. I've called them a ton of times. No one will get back to me. I don't even know what to do at this point.
Now, were you guys able to help this woman out? I mean,
that's the thing. I don't know. I send it, obviously. I send that stuff
to somebody else
in
it's
massive detail,
right.
and they decide if they want to go cover that.
It's out of your power.
It's kind of out of my power,
Yeah.
but it was sad. I felt so bad for this lady.
It's
but-
tragic.
Yeah, like what do you do? Like, what is if she doesn't have any family that she can go stay?
Nowhere to go. I don't even know if she could drive technically.
Right.
Oh yeah, no.
Like I don't know.
That would
And
suck.
and gosh, even this morning I was talking to people in my 9 a.m. and somehow the storm got brought up that happened in Midland. And she was telling me about one of my neighbors, they live in an apartment that was a little lower to ours and whatever that way works. And she said my friend and her 2 other girlfriends were in their rooms and just this massive flooding came on, and next thing you know she grabs her dresser, she dumps all her clothes on the floor just trying to soak everything up so it doesn't keep going.
Oh my gosh.
Next thing you know, there's like 8 inches of water in her apartment room, and there's just literally nothing she could do, and it's terrible. Flooding's crazy.
If the streets are flooded, you can't go anywhere.
They were even saying streets were closed. They got an email that said that listed all the streets that were closed. It's absolutely unbelievable. All the buildings that were completely closed at Central.
That's scary.
I think class legit stopped for
They shut down the
a
whole
week
campus.
or 2 weeks.
Yeah. Everything was closed.
Uh-huh.
But so that's going on.
Yeah, flooding. It's a bitch.
Well, I guess since I'm talking, I'll just keep going.
Yeah.
Just got a little sports current events up.
Totally.
We already talked about the fight. Little League World Series just ended. We watched actually quite a bit of that. At least Dayton and I did.
I didn't see who
Good
won.
amount.
So the Texas team won the U.S. championship. And so how it works is like there's like a U.S. bracket and then there's an international bracket.
Yep.
So all the U.S. teams play, and same with the international, and then the winner of the U.S. and the winner of the international play for the big,
Gotcha.
the whole thing. So it was Tokyo, Japan team, and then the Texas team, Lufkin, Texas.
Which is kind of cool
That is
because
kinda
Texas
cool.
is kind
It's
of
like kinda
down right
ironic.
now. So it's just
Yeah.
cool to
I
see.
mean, I don't know if that city is being affected.
No, they did a little bit on it. I think.
Did they?
I think it's not as bad as
Right.
Houston, but they're definitely being affected by it.
Yeah,
they
they're
have
probably
a lot of
getting rain pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
But Tokyo won. They mercied them 12-2 in the 5th inning.
Jeez.
Um,
To Texas.
Yeah, his kids
Yes.
were really good.
Whoa.
I think, generally speaking, a lot of times the international teams win. This was
No,
Japan's.
yeah.
This was that particular team's 4th
I thought
time
so.
winning it, which is the first team to ever win it 4 times, if I remember correctly.
I think I remember
Japan
seeing
is
Japan
insane.
win it before.
But yeah, so that happened. That was cool. That's always
Yeah.
fun to watch. They actually did a new thing this year. So they did a Little League Classic where they actually made it in Williamsport, which is where the Little League World Series is. They made a Major League Stadium there and made it like the Little League feel. And so they had a game. It was between the Pirates and I think the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And
At
so
that field.
At that field in Williamsport with all the Little League teams there. So all the Little League kids got to hang out with all the
Big
Major League
leaguers.
players and talk to
I
them.
like that a lot.
And take pictures, and it was just apparently just an overall awesome experience. You know, the kids
I can imagine.
loved
It was
it.
probably
The players loved it, and I think it's something they're gonna start to try to do every year.
It'd be cool if even a couple teams
They did
agree to do it.
2 games there or something.
Yeah, like
That'd
a
be cool.
doubleheader and just 4 teams there or
Right,
something
so
like
yeah,
that.
that's how they started the League World
That'd be
Series. I think that happened before any of the teams played. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So
okay.
that's how they started off
That's
the league,
sweet.
which was really cool.
I like that a lot.
Giancarlo Stanton, you guys know who that is?
Yeah.
He plays for
I
the
know the
Marlins.
name.
He's a power hitter.
Okay.
He has hit, I think, 15 home runs this month.
Whoa.
He's just going off.
Were you saying that
He's hit his 50th home run yesterday
were you saying that he had multiple
I'm-
multi home run games or
in a row. I thought I heard that. I could have been wrong, because I'm not exactly sure.
multi?
But he's been hitting a ton of home runs lately. He's just going off. So he just hit his 50th, which is
Wow.
That's incredible already.
pretty big deal.
Like, what did because Cabrera got the Triple Crown? How many home runs did he have
Around
when
40.
he did that?
When he did that, yeah, I don't.
Around 40, 45 probably.
It wasn't more than 50, dude.
Oh, yeah.
No, it wasn't.
No,
more,
No.
But yeah, it just depends on the year, you know. And like even if he was in the national, John Carlos Stanton's in the National League, so you could still win the Triple Crown in the American League and have.
No, that's a very good point. Yep.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the only other baseball thing I have is Clayton Kershaw is coming back from the DL.
Really?
He's gonna start, I think, at some point this week. He's been out for a long time.
Ever.
And the
Wow.
Dodgers have like the best
I
record.
was just
in the
gonna ask,
majors,
what
and
are
they're
they at? Are they still like on pace for record?
Oh, they're killing it.
Oh my!
I know
goodness.
that they were like it was
Like
like
80
45 games over 500 or something.
Oh, it's insane.
Just nuts.
Yeah. I mean, especially in baseball, you play 160 games. I mean, if you win 100 games,
That's it.
So
You
they
have-
are the Dodgers are 91-38 right now.
Oh,
They are
Okay.
19 games ahead of the next place team, which is the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are 15 games over 500,
oh my god.
and they're down 19 games. That just
Yeah.
shows you.
100-win season is impressive, and they're gonna get it.
I think the record is
So
what,
left.
111, 112.
Oh, yeah, they'll beat
I don't
it.
know
Like,
what that record is.
I mean,
There's still a lot of games to be played.
There is.
yeah, like
I
2
didn't-
months
There's
left.
like-
of
There's
I
baseball.
didn't realize it was
like-
2 months
There's
left.
like 30 games left.
I was thinking
Or
there was
there's
no
like
more
40
than a
games
month,
left.
which
I think
is
there's- 40 games left.
just
Tom.
wild. And playoffs haven't even started. They do play a lot of games.
It's the dog days, dude. It's such a grind of
It
season,
is.
especially if you're not in it.
Oh, you'd be gassed.
Especially if
Yeah.
you know
Exactly.
You're not
Like
gonna
if
make
you're the
playoffs.
Tigers right now, what do you
Yeah.
even care about the day to day?
Mhm.
It's a bummer. It's very hard for me. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's-
people who are already established and already have that contract, like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's I tell you, it's very hard for me to watch any other baseball besides Tigers, and that's one sport that it's like I'm not that interested in watching a Dodgers game. Like, of course they're dominating and everything, but if I'm not watching the Tigers, I don't have much interest.
It's a pretty popular held.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
opinion,
It's not uncommon.
I believe. Baseball's, I think, kind of struggling with like our generation,
Uh-huh.
because it's slow and a lot of people think it's boring.
And there's a million games.
Yeah, and there's a million games. I
long.
personally love baseball. Like I
Oh,
could sit
yeah.
down and watch damn near any game.
I can watch
Same.
a ton of Tigers, but I can't watch a random team.
I like watching the Tigers better. I don't watch a ton of baseball outside of the Tigers, but I
Uh-huh.
will. It doesn't bother me to sit down and watch another game.
Oh, especially playoff baseball when
I'll watch some late playoff baseball, no doubt.
you don't have a horse in the race, but like it's still super exciting.
And they're
especially-
actually playing intense. Like they play
Yeah.
160 games, so they're not going to be giving it their all every single game. I'm sorry.
But once October comes around,
But
it's
yeah.
ready. It's time.
It's hype.
Yeah.
It's very hype.
But yeah, that's what I got. That's what I brought to the table.
Cool.
The one thing I wanted to do, Apple is having their. I just saw an article this morning. Apple has their reveal for their new phone.
I was gonna say,
believe.
when does the 8
Sep-
come out?
September 12th is when they show it. That's when they're having their
September-
keynote event.
Now does that? So will that come out this year? Like, yeah. Do you know how long?
Maybe like late November. Maybe.
New phone?
I don't know. I don't
New
know when.
iPhone.
I don't know how long it'll take after they announce it.
Well,
But I
they-
know
they-
the new
they-
iOS is coming in November. I think.
Oh really?
Like a new software for our phones.
Oh wow, that'd be
Like
Which will be
brand
sweet.
new, like new change. Because remember,
It'll
we
look different.
every-
we had
every-
a big one. Like
it's one of the big ones where they change
Yeah.
the whole format.
I like
It might
Those
be.
are always cool. Those are
yeah.
always super exciting. The new features they bring.
I agree.
so.
I hope it is. I like
I'm
that.
pretty sure something's coming.
That'd be cool. Well, so what?
I don't know if it's that drastically changing
Okay.
like it has
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
I think it's just some features, your Siri's better. That to apparently I actually heard a little bit. Siri sounds really real.
Whoa.
Like they changed it so it sounds like you're talking to a person. And like there was this big thing they were talking about, and apparently it's a big deal.
That's cool.
But yeah, no, it's kind of cool. Compared to now, it's so electronic.
How often do they come out with a new phone? Every 2 years?
It's usually every year. They
Is-
come out with a new version of it, whether it's the 7S.
Is it usually like they come out with the phone and then the next year they come out with like the S? Or
But
whatever?
like last year they came out with this phone. This year I think they're coming out with like it's gonna look way different. It's gonna be a seamless screen, and I don't think it's gonna have a home button. So it's just gonna
it's gonna be all screen.
It's gonna be all screen.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Which
Because you know how like the bottom part of it,
yeah,
the
you
screen,
lose
no
so much screen there.
Yeah,
they're gonna
on the
make
top
that
and
all
bottom.
screen. Yeah, that's what I heard as well. I heard there might be an iris
Scanner.
Yep,
Yep, they're doing a bunch.
Yeah,
people can tell.
No, there's not.
You know what's
I'm
crazy?
serious.
People can tell what the next Apple, like they can try and figure out what the phone's gonna have, because they can look at Apple's filed for patents and bring those back and go, oh, Apple just filed 4 more new patents for eye detection software, so maybe they're gonna have that in their new thing. And
right.
like that is pretty cool. That's how they solve that.
That's how
in
people
a way.
figure it out. Yeah.
And get like a sneak peek. And then I guess that's kind of it. I didn't get enough into it, but I read a cool article how in Australia they're sending out a fleet of shark drones.
What?
And trying to get, because apparently in Australia it's like a legit risk if you go surfing. And they're sending out all these drones to give you like a accurate description of whether sharks will be around when you go surfing, when you go out. And so it'll be almost like these things will always be going around, almost drawing areas and letting people know where sharks are if they want to find out.
That's actually pretty cool, because you can, that way they can see if a shark's coming in the area and get people out of the water.
Yeah, so it's like all these drones, like maybe it's, I don't know how many drones, but maybe it's 50 of them. And they just send them out, and I think it says it can detect sharks with 90% accuracy.
Well, yeah,
so
because
all
you can see them
these
from the
things.
sky.
Oh yeah, but
that's a good idea.
I thought it was really interesting.
No, that is a good idea. You got it. I mean,
it's unbelievable how much weird stuff is starting to come out with all these drones. Drones are doing everything. It's sweet.
Yeah,
and
the
even
different uses they found for them.
And even I read a thing. Amazon is legit trying to get drone delivery.
They've been talking about it for a long time.
Which is crazy.
Long time.
Where we could have a little pod where we drive a minute to, and it's drone delivered all the time. We could order something and have it in 3 hours.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
That's so insane.
That complicates things though with airspace and how high do they fly.
You gotta regulate.
There's so much to that.
There's gotta be regulations.
So over my head.
There's actually, so I think they actually might have tested that in certain markets.
I just didn't know if you. Okay.
I think they've tested it in certain markets, and I think actually they have problems, or they're trying to figure out a way of like people shooting them down.
Really?
Like,
and just taking the software. That doesn't surprise me.
Taking the software, taking the package, or whatever.
Oh dang!
I don't even know if that's why.
Point.
I don't even know if that's why they're shooting them down.
What if you're ordering like a $800 lens or
right? There's no
TV. That'd be awesome.
A TV by drone, and someone just pops that thing.
I'm telling you, like, yeah, there's problems.
If you see
there's concerns of like people could shoot these things down, and like either. You know, for whatever reason, maybe for the package or the technology or who knows.
Yeah, you imagine how much money if you were on a ranch.
But how can they?
No one's around. I know exactly. No one's around, and you're just sitting there firing these babies down all the time.
Just anything
for fun.
For fun.
Yeah.
And then new TV.
Jeez.
That'd be wild. But yeah, and I brought up the story on the podcast. Drones are dropping off drugs into prisons.
Yes.
And getting I think the guy that they caught said he was getting $2,000 a drop. So you just fly his drone, drop whatever drugs, I don't know what drugs they were, and then get the hell out of there, and then go to another prison and do it. I don't know.
Good living.
That's fun.
It's
not too hard to do.
One night's work, make like $10,000, 5 drops.
Risky as hell.
That's wild. And you're just sitting in a van.
Jeez.
But I don't know. Do you have anything you wanted to touch on?
I had another little gadgety thing. I just read earlier today that SpaceX is going to be sending people within the next calendar year.
Yeah.
To Mars, hopefully, or is it the moon? I read Mars. I thought it was
I don't even
Mars.
think we put anybody on Mars.
Or like at least maybe it's the
Mars,
moon, but they're going to be taking trips.
I didn't know you were.
I think Mars might be a 9-month trip to get there.
Jeez, that's not that bad. Honestly,
that's so just mind-boggling though. That like the fastest we can go, it still takes us 9 months to get there. That's wild.
It is wild.
You got to send up so many resources for people to live off on for 9 months.
You could do like, what's that movie that he starts growing stuff in there? Martian.
Love that
Yeah.
movie.
That is a good movie.
That's
Someone
phenomenal
talked
movie.
crap about it recently.
I've heard a lot of people talk crap, dude. I love that movie. I watch it all the time.
I haven't seen it since I've seen it once.
I watched it a lot when I was at home.
It's
It was
good.
on HBO a lot, so I would just turn it on.
Yeah.
Kind of a feel-good movie a little bit.
No, it's satisfying. It's very satisfying. I agree.
The spacesuits. Have you guys seen the picture on Elon Musk's?
You told me about it. I
Instagram
never
page?
looked
It's
at it.
super
It
cool.
slipped my
It's
mind.
like more form-fitting. It looks
Oh,
good.
like
sleek,
like
man.
you
The
look.
whole-
If I was wearing that for Halloween, you'd be like,
Oh, it's
"Excuse
badass.
me?"
The
It's cool.
mask. Do you remember in Avatar when they kind of put on those like breathing masks and it's like
Yeah.
like the whole thing's like a see-through mask though? It's
Uh-huh.
kind of how it is. It kind of
Oh,
looks like
I'm gonna
that.
have to look at peek
It's-
at
it's
that.
cool.
It's pretty slick.
Yeah.
Not the clunky.
And no,
Go ahead.
no,
Yeah,
I
it's
just
not very clunky.
and I was gonna say the caption. Read it. It says something about how it took to like it
have
took a
mine.
while.
He did it
Yeah.
like double vacuum, like it's tested
Oh.
and it actually works. They've done it in vacuumed rooms and like
Yeah.
That's crazy.
no oxygen. It completely
That's
holds
weird
out.
that a vacuum we have right over there, technically, isn't that slightly replicating space for the way it sucks?
Sucks the air out.
Yeah.
Like
Technically, yeah. In a
I
way.
don't think it just
Does
it work
it
like
would
that?
just I think they do it where they just like the vacuum room where they test it. I think they just kind of suck the oxygen out of the room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
true.
then
That's a
I
good
think
point.
they probably put it to a certain pressure that you would experience, whatever.
I don't
I
know.
don't know exactly how it works, but I'm sure that's something along those lines.
I know his big thing in California is getting in the works with like his underground train,
Oh, the Hyperloop.
the Hyperloop, and
Oh,
a
that's
German.
sweet.
It's really cool. I don't know if you guys really know this, but he does a lot of contests. That's a big way he gets his research, and that's how it originally started. The SpaceX. It's this big competition for students and people to compete and give the best product. So he just had. I read an article. German students win the SpaceX prize for Hyperloop after making one that goes 200 miles an hour.
Dang.
So he puts these out. He puts these missions out,
Oh.
and some of the smartest people in the world, students, whomever
That's
that
really
is,
cool.
compete for probably like a $2 million payout or whatever that is. And
That's a
that's a
great
way.
idea.
That's a huge way he gets all of his stuff going.
That's a
And
good
He's
idea.
cool, man.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's an
just
awesome
gets like
idea.
ideas and then helps them like work it out,
Yeah.
or maybe they get a
Yeah, he's
percentage
just
of the
he's a
profit or
big world thinker.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast one time. It was about self-driving cars, but they started talking. I think they were talking about Elon Musk, who's the one who said it, but like how our transportation is very like one-dimensional. Like we only really travel on the ground. Outside of like airplanes, when you're flying like long distances,
That's very true.
you're only going on one level, which makes traffic such a bitch and this
Right.
and that. So I think his idea is almost to make it like different levels, have underground tunnels where you can have like three
Multiple
levels of under like whatever. So I mean, you
That's a good
don't
point.
not everybody's driving on one level. If you like
Yeah.
diversify it, you can have less traffic, easier means of travel, things like that.
And
or even once flying cars come out, have like two different levels of places where cars can drive
Yeah.
or fly or whatever.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Like, yeah, flying cars open up a new road in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
Open
and
up,
it'll declutter a little bit.
and then more people get these planes, but people that can't afford the flying cars just
Right,
have
I
to
mean,
drive
it'll
the
still-
normal roads.
Right.
I mean, that's a very good point. Like 3D travel, yeah, it's more expensive, but you get there faster, and
If once
There's
it's,
so
I mean,
much
it'll
to
be
that.
it'll be more expensive, at least to start.
yeah, exactly.
But you know, once
Uh-huh.
it's figured out.
No, that's a really good way of thinking about that. I like that.
But
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess that's pretty solid.
Yeah, it was.
We're a touch late with this one, but
yeah,
classes are started. We're finally back to our routines.
we should.
People are out of here. We had people over, this and that, and we just had no environments to really record us out at. But here we are.
Yeah.
We've all had a class, and we've all got a busy week ahead of us. So, thanks for listening, guys. See you next Sunday.
Cheers.
Cheers. Peace out, stream. You do this. I wonder if anyone watched.
There's 2 people watching.
Really?
It says two watching now. I think I might be one of them. You might be.
I might be on my phone if it counts that.